The BMW X6 is a love it or hate it kind of car, a vehicle that defies logic by combining a large and imposing exterior with a surprisingly compact interior. It's also brash and in your face compared to its rather more conservative X5 sibling. But now we have the X6 M, and if you thought the X6 was in your face, meet something that is completely insolent from an automotive point of view. Even without the M treatment, the X6 is a car without rivals, although the upcoming Mercedes-Benz GLC will change that later this year. The X6 M is an even more exclusive expression of the X6's SUV coupe formula. That said, some believe that the utility and versatility of an X car just doesn't mix with the no-compromise hardcore performance intrinsic to the M car badge. The first generation X6M demonstrated that those two opposites can find common ground. The second generation X6M, however, wants to confirm that partnership. Unsurprisingly, the design concept of the X6 hasn't changed that much from its predecessor. After all, why fix something if it isn't broken? Still retained is that very distinctive fastback silhouette, the very muscular stance, high waistline, and an almost menacing presence, which is particularly accentuated in this X6M version. That the big BMW means dynamic business is accentuated by the short overhangs, the test car's huge wheels, and those gumball high-performance tyres. The black-finished kidney grills, massive intakes hungry for cool air, and the steady gaze of the multi-element headlights all add to the Big M's powerful brooding presence, while the V8's menacing vocals are magnified by a quartet of big-bore exhaust tailpipes. In short, the X6M is what all M cars would like to be when they grow up. Yes, it might look somewhat overblown and even incongruous, but on the move, the X6M is quite simply spectacular and just a little scary. Just as well, the cabin cocoons its occupants in comfort. The X6M interior oozes luxury and exclusivity, but it's also very much an M-car cockpit, and you can see that from this carbon fibre trim, the M-specific steering wheel, and also these high-backed bucket seats. Of course, it is also a fairly spacious vehicle, especially up front. Rear headroom remains a little bit limited at the back, and perhaps the boot could be bigger too. As befits any top-end BMW, the sporty SUV's cabin is loaded with kit. The dashboard layout follows BMW's current design language, with the iDrive system at the core of the interface between car and driver. The finishes and materials exude exclusivity, while the overall execution is more spacious than the previous model. You'd think that a vehicle at this price point would be full house, but the comprehensive list of options provides extensive scope for added cost. Our test car's extras totaled almost 200,000 Rand, and no, they won't fit into the 550-litre boot. The 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8 engine powering this XM6 is the most powerful engine ever to be fitted to an X car. It produces 423 kilowatt of maximum power, which is 4% more than the previous model. Torque now stands at 750 Newton meters, which is 10% more than the previous car. The gearbox is an 8-speed Steptronic, but with drive logic to ensure that the shifts are really as quick as a dual-clutch gearbox. And of course, all-wheel drive is standard fare as well. While the extra power and torque are easily taken for granted, much less obvious is how much more fuel-efficient the X6M has become. BMW claims a consumption improvement of around 20%, with a combined cycle figure of 11.1 litres per 100 kilometres. However, put the hammer down and don't expect too much change from 17 or even 18 litres per 100 kilometres. Not that many X6M owners will be too concerned about economy. At around 2,300 kilograms, the X6M is a big and heavy car, but fortunately it has the engine to match. Power to weight ratio here, 186 kilowatt per ton, which is almost gravity defying in terms of how quick this vehicle really is. The 0 to 100 time, 4.2 seconds, which is quicker than many a sports car. Top speed limited as usual to 250 kilometers an hour. It really is the mid-range punch of this vehicle that is almost eyeball flattening in its intensity. An important part of this latest M car's proficiency is the chassis and suspension. The overall setup is taut, but adaptive damping can up the ante to sports car stiff on demand. The rear-biased all-wheel drive system delivers prodigious grip, and the steering feels meaty if a little slow. The big SUV displays so much composure even when pressing on that you don't always realize how fast you're traveling. Thankfully, big disc brakes can haul the big Beamer down to saner speeds without any drama. while active safety systems provide a further safety net. I said from the outset that the X6M is the kind of vehicle that polarizes opinion. But let's not forget that the notion of an X-drive car powered by an M performance engine is not without its controversy either. The problem is that 1.7 million rands will buy you a lot of car, regardless of whether the priority is performance or utility. From the X6M's point of view, though, it does both really well, and so there should be no shortage of buyers. Whether those buyers drive this car for visual effects or dynamic driving pleasure is a moot point, though. After all, the X6M is hard to ignore. A brutally powerful but refined and now more economical twin-turbo is the essence of the X6M, as is all-wheel drive and a tailored cabin. Add sports car rivaling performance to the formula and the result is both unique and challenging. But it's anything but subtle, and the X5M offers more space and versatility.